What's up, comic fans? It is time for that new comic book day haul plus review. So we're gonna get into the books. We got some 50 centers. This week's 50 cent theme is loosely fairy tale slash English European books, Marvel books. We'll get into it. You'll see what I mean. Plus, we got the books from this week, and we're gonna get into all of it right after this.
Spartans, what is your profession?
Welcome back. All right, let's do it. Let's get into those books. First off, we'll start with those 50 centers. Let's do it. All right, this is what I meant. We have Knights of the Pendragon. Alright, you got Iron Man on the cover. High-tech Arthurian adventure. Knights of the Round Table Reborn. And I believe this was part of the Marvel UK, right? Imprint. So these books were printed overseas. They were for the United Kingdom. And there's Iron Man. Oh god, I almost dropped it. We got it. Dan Abnett and John Thompson on the writing. Pencils was Phil Gascoigne. All right. Let's see if we can find something cool in this book. I mean, the UK, when I look through this book, besides for, just this being a Marvel UK book, it seems pretty American. You got Rick Moranis in Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, which was the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was a great movie. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, I don't remember that much. Ooh. This must have been a robot because he gets chopped up. But anyway, let's not spend too much time on this. We got Pendragon, starring Iron Man. Because you demanded it, we've got Excalibur. Alright, number 1. This is their old monthly series. We got Captain Britain in here. Nightcrawler was part of the team. So there's some stuff happening in there. They were doing this thing on some of the books where you got pretty nice art on the back cover. And here's some Shadow Cat. So Excalibur number 1. These are 50 centers. Then we're gonna go with Beauty and the Beast. Alright, number 1. So you got the Beast in here. Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Pretty cool stuff. I believe that's Dazzler in the book. Some cool stuff there. Then we got Beauty and the Beast number 4. Not sure who did the cover there. Let's see. Got any good interior artwork here? There's some interior artwork. Does anybody remember Noxzema? Right. Gotta get rid of them zits. I don't know what I'm looking. I'm trying to find a cool page in this final scene. Here you go. Some Dr. Doom. Ooh. All right. So that's it for the 50 centers this week, alright? Now, let's get into the new comics. Alright, first off, we're going to start off with a book from about a month ago. This is G.I. Joe #1. I say new books and then we're getting right into old book. G.I. Joe #1, alright? The Energon verse is not pulling any punches, alright? Characters die left and right. Not die. Well, yeah, there are characters who die. I want to say they die left and right. It's not like a death in every book, but there's some stuff happening in every book, alright? Here in this issue, the Joes deal with losing one of their own, right? And then we get into issue 2. This is the Finch cover, and you have Cobra on the cover, right? Let's get into it. Next up, that was cover, I think, D. Alright, now we've got cover A. This guy, G.I. Joe, issue #2. So this one, the Joes are kind of recovering, licking their wounds. You have Cobra, also kind of working through some stuff, right? Destro is not exactly in love with Cobra Commander. Cobra's, been doing, Cobra Commander's been doing some shady stuff, not telling him. Destro is very much like, we are a partnership, not, you're not my boss, we're partners in this. So there's just a little recovery. The Joes are, like I said, licking their wounds, trying to figure out what their next step is. They've been decimated pretty hard, didn't really complete their mission, and so, they'll be looking for some redemption. This issue is, let's tighten it up. Let's get back to it. Before we keep going, Chip Zdarsky comic newsletter has come out again. This is fun. It's got some really cool stuff, some fun stuff. There's some fun titles on this book. Ultimate Spider-Man. Can Marvel strike gold again with a new universe where Spider-Man and Mary Jane are even more married? So there's some good stuff in here. So check it out if you see it at your local comic shop. Alright, let's go. We still got some more indies to go through. Next up, we've got Transformers. This is the 10th printing of issue #1. There was like 10 different covers of issue #1. And I didn't really plan on getting any. And then I even saw this at the store and I still wasn't going to get it. And then I kind of made fun of it and picked it up. And then once it was in my hand and I felt the embossed gold, right? Gold foil on the cover. And this, the badass Optimus Prime pose. Which it was on, issue 1A, cover A, whatever. Yeah, I bought it. What can I say? I'm a sucker. I am a sucker. All right, here's the last indie book. We have Jimmy Palmiotti doing Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. All right, so we're getting the Gunslinger Spawn's origin in this book. If you've been reading Gunslinger Spawn, there are some callbacks in this book to some of the stuff that they, had put in the book as to why or what motivates the gunslinger. So, they're keeping the same story, they're just giving us a little bit more detail and depth into the gunslinger, how he's created, where he came from, and who his villains were before he got pulled, into the future. Alright, we're switching gears. We're now at DC. This is Action Comics 1080. This is a weekly book. I've actually didn't get my last 2 weeks of Action Comics, so I picked those up. So I still have a little catching up to do. It's a little bit much, Superman being weekly, alright? They sometimes do this when they want to align an anniversary issue with a certain time frame, right? So next, I guess we're looking at 1100. And so that's... I don't know when they're planning on bringing out issue 1100. But there's 20 more books, alright, that we gotta go through. I don't know, loose calculations, we'll put that somewhere in May for issue number 1100. Maybe they're, looking to start off the summer with that issue. I don't know. It's a bit much though. I'm enjoying Action Comics, but at $5 a pop for the week, it's a little bit of overload. At this point, I'm ready to just kind of drop it and catch it on the DC Infinite app or in a tray. Speaking of another cover that I just bought, I'm a sucker for these negative space variants, especially John Tyler Christopher ones. This is not John Tyler Christopher. This is Sandoval, Pablo Sandoval. But yeah, I just thought it was a cool cover, so I picked it up. Absolute Superman #1. Really good series too. Read that if you get a chance. Definitely read it. I recommend it 100%. All right, last DC book that I got that I actually read this one. Catwoman #71. All right, she's being hunted, or at least her aliases are being hunted, and she's trying to figure out why, who, the whodunit, and why is it happening. She's overseas, all right. She's in Europe for most of this, but she's dressing up. She's getting to do her thing, and it all connects to an earlier time in her life when she was working with a group of people, not solo, doing the international theft thing. So she's got a bunch of hitmen chasing her across Europe. It's a really nitty-gritty, interesting title, and it focuses more on her as opposed to, some of the rest of the series that is focused or was focused, like Teenie Howard's run, which was focused on like the Catverse, I call it, like just like a bigger universe. So if you're into a more simpler, sophisticated, character-centric book, Catwoman is doing that. Switching gears now, we're going to Marvel. We have the Immortal Thor. I am so far behind, and if these weren't Alex Ross covers, I probably would have dropped this book a long time ago, as I wasn't totally in love with it when it was going on, right? So, you got Al Ewing on the book, so I don't know. I like Al. Maybe when I catch up, I'll finally like the series again. Who knows? But we gotta read the Action Comics first. All right, next up, this is really nitty gritty. This is a variant cover. This is Helverine Ryder Fry. I just like the cover, so I picked up this one. Ed Brinson is writing it. He's like a real man's man, He's got this deep voice. That was a horrible impersonation of him, by the way. His voice is much more gravelly. Has much more gravel in it, and it's lower, and he smokes cigars. But yeah, you got Dakin, who's being kept alive by Bangrul or Bangarul, some demon who actually likes to take his victims and turn them into like these works of art with the gore and the bones, and just turns them into like these structures. Anyway, Dakin is looking for some help. He goes to see Doctor Strange. He's like, it's like, I feel like I'm doing a good thing, but I'm also possessed by a demon. So, what can we do about it? And it turns out, the demon has pretty much brought Dakin back to life, pieced him back together after Sabretooth, ripped him apart. And, it doesn't seem like, right now, it doesn't seem like the demon can be separated from Dakin, without, causing Dakin to probably just end up dead again. And Doctor Strange does warn him. He's like, find out what this guy's doing, or I'ma stop you, right? I'ma end it for you. So, even though Dakin's killing bad guys, part of it is that in hell, you need bad guys to have an army. So maybe this is Dakin's way of, or the demon inside Dakin's way of supplying hell with an army. Anyway, it's a decent book. It's gritty though. It's nitty gritty. It's not for kids, and not for anybody who's in a bad headspace. It is out there. Next up, this book is a lot lighter. We got the TBA Time Variance Authority. If you are a fan of Spider-Gwen, right, the Ghost Spider, pick this up because this book very much followed her. It is an interesting book. It's funny, and it's quirky. It really fits into this TVA universe. If you're a fan of the TVA and the Loki series, probably worth a pickup. The TVA now is just much more open to variants, right? They're not just looking to prune those timelines. They are actually interested in saving everybody. The sacred timeline is still exists, but it's not the only timeline that they are willing to work with. And that's kind of what we get here in this setup. We have Spider-Gwen hiding out because of things that happened in her book, right? So she's with the TVA. I think they kind of believe that she's from a timeline that has been erased, which is not totally true. It's just that Gwen is kind of hanging out there. And then the end of the comic kind of ends on a cliffhanger or possibly a red herring. We'll have to read issue 2 to figure out what exactly is happening there. And then, last but not least, we have Ultimate Spider-Man number 12, right? A little Christmas time action here. It is Christmas in this book. We have the Parkers and the Watsons getting together. J. Jonah Jameson is there. We got the families doing stuff. The whole holiday stuff with all the holiday trimmings, right? Like all the holiday drama of family life happening here. And then there's there is a surprise at the end. You think it ends like so happily. It's been a really good first year for the Ultimate Universe, and you're like, oh man, this is an awesome way to end. Ended happy, it's Christmas. And then you flip the page, and there's 2 more pages of stuff happening that's like, oh dang, no, really? It is not as happy as we thought, right? Because happiness is being with your family, but then fear is realizing that it can all be taken away. And that's what we get in this book, all right? So, read this. It is good. This is good writing. This is just keeping you on the edge of your seat. And now we gotta wait to 2025 to see what happens. Right? Spider-Man's gonna be okay, right? So, comic fans, that was my comic haul plus review. We got the 50 centers, right? The whole fantasy Beauty and the Beast stuff and the Pendragon stuff from the UK, Marvel UK. And then we had some really good books this week, really good reads. It was a really good week for comics going into Christmas. I don't know what the next week will be like. Wednesday, comic shops are pretty much going to be closed. I don't think there's anything, maybe a comic shop somewhere is going to be open, but there's really not any books coming out next week on Wednesday, on New Comic Book Day. I don't know. We'll see. But again, comic fans, that was the haul. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go ahead and throw me a thumbs up and comment down below. Do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to get ready for the Christmas books. I'm going to get ready for 2025 and Christmas. Yeah, there we go. All right. So that's it. We're out. Peace. Deuces. We're out. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I know I missed some stuff. Whatever it is. If you celebrate nothing, have an amazing time. Peace. Again. Comic fan. I was going to say peace, love, and happiness, but somebody already says all that stuff. So just peace, comic fam, and some love. We out. We're out. We're gonna get into it all right after this.